Good evening everybody and welcome along to One Hub Racing. This is season 15 sponsored by Next Level Racing. It's the moment that all the drivers, commentators and fans have been waiting for. It is tier announcement night. We will be finding out which drivers have been placed in what tier. My name is Jess, head of broadcasting at One Hub Racing, and joining me to announce the tiers tonight is the head of stats, Samster. How are you doing?
Evening everyone, I'm doing well.
Brilliant. Thanks to everybody that took part in qualifying night last week. It was our first chance to see the drivers close up and how the drivers were fair this season. It was at Silverstone again, just like last season, and the drivers' objective was to set the quickest time they can on the softest compounded tyres. It was amazing to see familiar faces on our screens as well as some newcomers too. So what did you think about last week's proceedings, Sam? And does seeing what happened make you want to go back racing again?
I always find it interesting doing two seasons on one game because you can see, especially with the same track, the progressions of times. And I think I'm right in saying that we did quali night in Britain last season, and the pole time, the fastest time of the session was a 26.9, I want to say.
Yeah,
and obviously we've had
two people beat that this season.
Yeah, exactly. We've had a good look at how people have improved massively and what people have not improved as much. So it's really interesting to look at.
Yeah, the stats are usually Sam does the stats, but I've got some stats for you. Top 16 times separated by 1 second, top 43 separated by 2 seconds, and top 51 by 3 seconds. So the top 16, obviously, the ones most of these guys will be in the Pinnacle Tier. So yeah, some people moving up, some people moving down, and some people making their debuts in the league. It'll be interesting to see how the drivers will cope this season. And there's 22 new drivers this season, Sam. So before we get started with announcing the tiers, any advice going to our new drivers making their debuts this season?
Well, I would say it's not as important for this shorter season, but obviously patience is very key. What we have a lot of the time in the full seasons is people very eager to do very well in the first race in Australia, and then we see them result in crashing early and, ending up with 0 points, and the season sort of goes downhill from there. But if you look at the most successful drivers, obviously consistency is the key thing. So just picking up early points, doesn't matter if it's 8 or 10 points to begin with, that's a solid foundation.
Yeah, definitely. We won't keep you waiting any longer. We're going to be announcing the tiers. So here's how it's all going to work. Tier by tier, we'll be going through who is racing in that particular tier, as well as their previous stats. Please note the order the drivers are in is not the order of how quick they were on quali night, so do not panic. It was not just decided on quali night if people were not showing their true pace, if they were sandbagging, for example. We took that into consideration and we kept an eye on their performances from previous seasons. And for any new drivers, also some of them, we looked at time trial times as well. So Podium Tier starts at 6:30, Precision at 7:30, and Pinnacle at 8:30. So, are we ready, Sam, to announce the first tier?
Yeah, I think everyone's eager to get going now, so let's begin.
Yeah, okay. So, starting off with the bottom tier, which is going to be at 6:30 p.m. UK time. So that is not really the slowest drivers, but most of these guys to probably making their debut, and also the ones that are yet to show or want to improve. There's some good drivers in there actually, but we may as well get them up now. And this season, you can actually see on the screen who is in what tier, and if they're gold, that means they're in race premium. We've got a lot of race premium drivers. So here we go. Here is your Podium Tier drivers, and we're going to start off with just Chris. He is a new driver, and he's a Dutchman, so it'll be interesting to see how he does in the league. We've also got Rich and 500 and Lahofner. They're also new drivers, so again, we don't know much about their pace with that because they haven't been in one behind before, but they're yet to prove themselves. Interesting to see how well they do. Dexter, he was in Precision last season. He joined midway through the season in Russia. And he even said to me that he wanted to drop down to the lowest tier. So, but he wasn't that happy with his qualifying pace. But it'll be interesting to see how he does there. TC, he's also a new driver. He's Belgium. He looked quite good in quali night against all the other drivers that will be in this tier, so he could be a real threat to the title this season. Mr. Stim 96, he's also a new driver. Again, we won't know his true pace until the first race of the season. This is an interesting one, and I think Sam can agree with this as well. Jonas Albrecht. He was in Pinnacle last season, and he got dropped down all the way down to the bottom tier in Podium. I'm quite shocked about that, but any thoughts on Jonas being in a lower tier? Do you think this will spice things up for him and give him a little bit more motivation?
I think Jonas is one of those drivers that's, no matter what tier he's been in, he's always sort of had a few races where he's been near the front and either been caught in a bit of controversy or been fighting for the lead. So, and he's got the stats to back it up. He's got 10 podiums and he's got 1 pole position and 4 drivers of the day. So, if we could prove us wrong, and he could be right at the front of this tier, but we'll just have to see.
Yeah, so he's got 10 podiums, which is quite a lot as well. No drivers or constructors championship, so hopefully this will be the place for him. And the next guy, we all know him. There's no need to introduce this guy, Gaza. He is in Podium for another season. He's got a rack of stats. He's got 4 wins, 13 podiums, 2 drivers championships, and 11 drivers of the day. He got Podium last season in the end of Podium. I'm saying Podium all in once. I mean, he's got to carry the momentum. He hasn't got any wins last season. Sam, do you think he's due for a win this season, do you think?
Yeah, Gaza's always Mr. Consistent in whatever tier he's found in. Just to correct, he's got 2 Constructors World Championship, not drivers, that is. But, Gaza's been here for a long time, and he's very good at just, like I said, being consistent, which is the best thing you can do, really, and fighting and getting some points on the board. So I expect some good things for him, and I expect some high points as well.
Yes, another Podium driver from last season is in this tier again. It is Riley. He was looking quite good as well. He got 4 podiums and 1 drive of the day, so he's looking to add more to his stats. We've also got Catboy Key, who is in this tier this season like he was last season. He hasn't got any stats at the moment. He's looking to add a bit more and looking to prove himself, but he's one of the most experienced drivers on the grid, because obviously we've got a lot of new drivers in this tier this season, so he should be the one who could handle the pressure in this tier. Kinnan, he was also in Podium. He got 1 pole, but hasn't converted it into a win. So I wonder if he could do that at some point. I think this season could be the season where Kinnan can really step up on his game. And we've got Aaron JS 1992 as well. He's returned after he left mid-season. He was also in the championship fight as well, and let me just look at his stats quickly. He has got 1 win, 11 podiums, 2 poles, and 1 drive of the day. And he was so close last season, Sam. Surely he's got to be in the title hunt tonight. This season, sorry.
Yeah, looking at the other drivers, he's got a plethora of stats to go with there, and he definitely had the pace throughout last season, and unfortunately he had to leave for whatever reason that was. So I'm sure he's back looking for revenge this season, but it's a very competitive grid in that tier, so we'll just have to see.
Yeah, and the next driver is Astronauti. I think that's how you say it right, 04. He was in Podium last season. Again, another driver, hasn't got any stats this season, so he's got a lot more to prove this season. Another one to add to this experience. Next, we've got someone who is very familiar to the One Hub community. It's one of our very own commentators, Alex Lilliart. He is making his league racing return after a couple of games off, and he's very, very much looking forward to the season ahead, and glad he has chosen One Hub to make his league racing return, as it were. So I wish him the best of luck. And next we've got Eva Hanna. He was in Podium last season. He's got a few stats to his name. He's got 1 win, 3 podiums, 2 poles, and 1 driver of the day. And we've got Truth NRP, one of the Americans in this league. He's a new driver, as well as Nikki 9095. And they've both got a point to prove this season. I've seen them in other leagues as well, so it should be interesting to see how they do. Again, we don't know much about their pace until they go racing next week. In a few weeks' time. Then we've got Indecisive Matt 13. He's also a new driver, as well as Schumacher M7. He is also a new driver, and for the very first time in One Hub, I'm making my league racing debut in One Hub Racing, so that should be a lot of fun to you. So, looking at these drivers, Sam, who do you think would have a shot of winning the Podium Tier title?
Unfortunately, I'm not too familiar with many of the drivers, but like we've already mentioned, I'd say Aaron's got to be up there in my mind, I think, and you can never rule Gazza out because he's so consistent. So if I had to pick a third driver to go with that, I think Eva Hannon was competitive and picked up some good podiums. As you can see, he had 3 podiums and 2 poles, so he's got good pace as well. So there'd be my 3 drivers to watch.
Brilliant. And for those of you that are in Podium this season, then your tier coordinator will be Gaza once again. So if any problems or any queries throughout the season, make sure you go to him, as he's going to be the host for the season. So if you haven't added him already, and if you're in Podium this season, make sure you add him on PSN. So that's 1 tier down. We've got 2 more to go. And obviously, if you took part in Quali Night, this image, you will find out whether you are in the other tier or not. So if you're not in this next image, then that means you'll be in the Pinnacle tier. If you are in this image, obviously, that means you will be in Precision. Now, Precision looks to be very, very quick. I mean, this is probably one of the closest Precision I've seen in a while. Before we reveal actually, no, well, I'm not going to keep you waiting very longer. Let's reveal it right now, but we got some very quick drivers in this tier, so I can't wait. So here we go. Here is the Precision tier for this season. So first of all, kicking things off, we've got Konzo, who is a new driver this season. I've seen him in our leagues as well. He looks pretty quick, so it'll be interesting to see how he handles the pressure. Next, we've got Breadster, who was he was a commentator last season, and obviously he was in Prestige last season as well. He's dropped down the tier, but probably it's for the best, really. And like Jonas, he may be disappointed with himself that he's not in the tier that he wants to be in. But do you think Brettster would do well in this tier, considering he's not in Pinnacle anymore?
Yeah, on his day, Brettster's one of the faster guys. As you know, he was in Prestige last season, but unfortunately, consistency has been his worst enemy, really. And it depends how much practice he can put in, and what sort of level of commitment we'll see from him this season. But if he puts the hours in, I don't see any reason why he can't contend for this title.
Yep, exactly. We got Carlsberry. He's a new driver, so it'll be interesting to see how he fares in the league. Then next we've got Cam, another American. He was in position last season. He hasn't got any wins, but he's got 3 podiums. But actually, technically, he got 1 win in the pre-season race, but that doesn't count in the stats. So interesting to see what he can make of it in this tier. This next guy needs no introduction. He has moved up a tier this season. It is Nexus Iceman. He is the podium champion from last season. I mean, previous podium champions haven't done well in Precision tier. Do you think he can break the curse, Samster, and do well against these really quick drivers?
Well, the time you could put in qualifying, it was very impressive, and shows that if he was sort of mixing with some of the bigger boys from last season in terms of Precision or Pinnacle. So I do expect big things from him as well, and hopefully he continue that upwards curve that he's having on the game so far.
Exactly. And next we've got TB. He was in Precision last season. The only stat that he's got 1 pole, yet to convert it to a win, but surely he would probably get to a win at some point. Another person that needs no introduction, Dane Star. He got that win in Brazil, which I think everyone was delighted that Dane Star got that win. And he is back in the second top tier, just like last season. So technically, he hasn't moved down in a way. He stayed where he is, but the naming's changed. That's the only difference. So watch this for stats. He's got 10 wins, 18 poles, 18 podiums, 7 poles, 1 Drivers' Championship, 1 Constructors' Championship, and 3 Drivers of the Day. So what can you say about Dane Star? I mean, Sam, is he going to be one of the people to watch in Precision?
Yeah, I had the honour of being Dane Star's teammate for a short time, and I think it was the year I won my title in season 12. He won the podium title in that season as well, and progressed rapidly on F1 2018 and became one of the fastest drivers on that game, and sat with me in Prestige for a while. So yeah, I believe he's running no lines. So I'll be interested to see how he
Ooh.
progresses with his no assists. But yeah, he's got lots of potential in this tier, and I'm really excited to see what he can do.
Yeah, don't bottle it, please, Danestar. Anyway, next is two new drivers. We've got Sippy, and we've also got Flying Cooper. So we're wishing the best of luck in this league. Hopefully they can get some good stats up. Next, we've got Janul, who was in Pinnacle last season. He's got 1 win, one podium, and 1 driver of the day. So he was looking quite quick last season. It'll be interesting to see how he can manage against these big boys. Next, we've got Luke KK, or Luke. I'll just call him Luke. There's 2 Lukes. I'll call him Luke K. That's it. He was in position last season, 2 podiums and 1 pole. So he's looking good. A challenge against some of these guys. Lukey, how many zeros? He is in the position tier. Once again, he's got 3 podiums. Wait, hold on. Let me have a look. I'm looking at the wrong stat. There we go. He's got 8 wins, 28 podiums. Wow, 3 poles, 1 drivers' championship, and 7 drivers of the day. He was so close to winning the drivers' title last season. I guess he doesn't want any place Samster than number 1 this season, surely.
Yeah, absolutely. He came close and unfortunately lost to another one of his friends in the one hub in the form of White Fountain. But I think it's safe to say that Lukey is the longest serving active driver now in one hub, and he's been here since, I think, season 8, which is absolutely years ago, and that shows in the stats. They're absolutely packed. But obviously part of management, and he does our graphics, he does an incredibly good job, and I wish nothing for the best for him for this season, and hopefully he can go all the way.
Yeah, wishing the best of luck. Next, we've got another precision person from last season. We got TDG Vitinho. He was a bit dirty towards the start of the season, but he got progressively better towards the end, and he very much improved as time goes on. He had 3 podiums and 1 pole and 2 drivers of the day. So I can definitely see the improvement there. So wishing the best of luck for that. Next, we've got one of the guys that's moved up along with Iceman. It is EVR Sam T. He was really impressive in quali night last week. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Very well deserved to be in precision tier. He's got 1 drive of the day, so he has got some stats in there. So I wonder how he's going to do, and it'll be interesting to see what car he picks as well, because there's a few cars he wanted depending on what tier he has got. Then next we got Ivan. Now Ivan's also moved up along with Sam and Iceman. Ivan looks pretty good. He got 2 wins, 4 podiums, 1 pole and 2 drivers of the day. So similar stats to what Sam has got. So I expect those 2, Sam, are going to be based on their stats really big rivals this season.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Sam's one of the more active members in sort of F1 community at the moment, and I've heard good things. And like you said in quali night, he did a very good job, and wish him all the best for this season, and hopefully be making that spreadsheet a bit more full come the end of the season. Yeah,
definitely. So we've got Sam and I. Next is another veteran. He's changed his PSN I don't know how many times. It is Ten Mayuji, and also known as Cloudy Balloons, who is making his return to One Hub. He left mid-season last season. He was one of those guys who also was in early seasons of One Hub Racing as well. I think it was 2017 that he joined as well. Is it great to have him back, Sam, for another season?
Yeah, Cloudy's been around for ages as well. I've raced him quite a few times, and the memory sticks the most in my mind is when he picked up a sort of off-chance win in Baku. Can't remember what season that was, but he's very delighted about that, and it's good to have him here again for another season.
Yeah, our final new driver in this tier is no, not a new driver yet. I haven't got that far. We got TTG King J, who is was in position last season. He's back in position this season. He's got 4 wins, 17 podiums, 6 poles, and 7 drivers of the day. So he's looking good on the win front. So it'll be interesting to see what time he's set. Next is our final new driver in this tier, PMP Crimson, who is a new driver. He set his time on the mediums, but we worked out his delta based on what time he could have done on the soft. That's why he's in the position tier this season. And next we've got our tier coordinator for position tier this season, Scorpion and Chris. And interestingly enough, Sam, both of these drivers set exactly the same time for position. I've never seen that in One Hub history in the time I've been at One Hub, but I'm guessing those two are going to be rivals from the very start as well.
Yeah, obviously it goes to show how close some of these times were and how difficult it was for us to sort of make these tier placements. But Scorpion and Chris are very well known for racing One Hub many seasons now. I've raced Scorpion and I've raced Chris, I think, many seasons ago. Both very quick drivers on their day. Chris has had a little bit of trouble with controversies over the seasons. I think everyone is very aware of that. Maybe annoying a few people along the way. But I'm excited to see them battle as we go into the season.
Brilliant. So that was your position tier. I forgot to run you down through podium tier again, but I'll do that after this. But position tier, just a quick rundown. We've got Konzo, Breadster, Carlsberry, Cam K, Nexus Iceman, TB230791, Danestar, Zippy, Flying Cooper, Janul, Luke, Lukey00000, TTG Vitinio, EVR _ Sam T, Art _ Ivan _ Cloudy, TDG _ King J, PMP _ Crimson, Scorpion, Hun, and Chris. And I'll just run through podium quickly before we go to talk about Pinnacle. So podium tier, once again, just for those of you that are wondering, we've got TTG _ Just Chris, Rich 500, Lahofner, IRLRT Dexter, TC13-92, Mr. Stim 96, Jonas Albrecht, Gazaman 96, Riley, PM Key Catboy Key, Kingan _ 79, Aaron JS 1992, Astro Nossi 04, Alex Lilliart, Eva Hatton, Truth NRP, Nikki 9095, Indecisive Matt 13, Just Gamer 95, and Schumacher M7. So we announced the podium and position, and now I'll pass it over to Samster, who knows these drivers very well, most of these drivers very well, and he's going to take you through who is racing in the Pinnacle tier this season.
Thank you very much, Jess. Right, so if you haven't heard your name now, you're probably waiting for this moment, and hopefully the image will be up soon so you can see the confirmation. But this is the Pinnacle tier, so our top tier for this season. And without further ado, let's begin with the first driver, who's a very good friend of mine, ILRT Rafa, the German GOAT, as some would like to call him. He didn't set a time on quality night, unfortunately, but he couldn't manage to do that. But it was needless to say, we all knew he was going to be in the top tier. He's a returning driver from season 13, and he has 1 win, 9 podiums, 2 poles, and 4 driver of the days, and is a very competitive driver, and I look forward to seeing battle at the front. Next up, we have a new driver, one of the few that are in the Pinnacle tier, and is S2V Danny MG, who set the fastest time of the night with a very impressive 26.5. That's very, very competitive time, and obviously racing for a team like S2V, a team that previously hosted drivers such as Jarno Opmeer, and we all know what he's gone on to do, so I'm looking forward to him being a title contender. Next, we have Paris Burrell, who's raced in One Hub for many years, and lots of people know, of course. He has 5 podiums, 4 poles, and 0 driver days, unfortunately, and I'm sure we're looking to correct that this season. Very consistent driver and very good on his wheel and pad, actually. And of course, the next person is ILRT Louis, who is the Prestige Champion of Season 14. Absolutely blazed the field, and on this game is regarded as one of the best on the controller. Actually, doesn't need to be on the controller, he's just one of the best on the games. And if we look at his stats, that just backs it up. He has 14 wins, 26 podiums, 17 poles, 1 Drivers' World Championship, of course, 1 Constructors, and 9 Driver of the Days. And I think all of that is in the space of 1 or 2 seasons, really, which is very, very impressive. Following him, we have VRT Chapelele. That's a fun name to say. He's also a returning driver from season 14. He has 1 podium, and he's got no other stats, unfortunately, but I thought he did a bit better than that. But no, I raced him, and he's a very good driver on his day, and he raced in the Racing Point last season. Next up is another favourite of mine, Lakitu 886, another German driver. Lots of Germans in the top tiers. A returning driver from season 14 as well. He picked up 4 podiums over his one-up career, and I've had many a close battle with him, and he's definitely got my respect on the racetrack. Following him, we have Josh M97. He is a new driver, and he set a 27.0 on the night, which is a very competitive time. And if we actually look at last season's spreadsheet, that put him very high up. So it just goes to show how much people have improved on this game. And we look how quick the times are now, a whole 3 or 4 tenths difference. Following him is Midnight, formerly known as VRT Midnight, I think we can agree. One of the drivers that's improved rapidly over many seasons and was very, very consistent in the top tier last year, picking up lots of podiums and really impressing on the stat sheet. As we can see, he's got 6 wins, 21 podiums, 6 poles, and 1 driver of the day. So I'll be looking forward to see him progress even further this season. Next, we have Midnight Lion, or MNT Lion, I think that's short for. He set 27.2 on the night, and I believe he's a new driver, but he's very well known in the F1 community, and I hear he's a very fast driver, so I look forward to seeing him at the front battle with some of the big names already listed. Next after this is Toxic Tomato. I think I hopefully said it's not Toxic Tomato or whatever. He joined at the end of last season, in season 14, and unfortunately has no stats at the moment, but he'll be looking for that to change. Ollie Flavel is the next driver, setting a 27.3. He's well known in the community as well. He has 2 wins from the Pinnacle Tier last season, I believe. 9 podiums, 2 poles, and 2 driver of the days. After that, it's VRT Wentink. I'm sorry, I'm not very good at European pronunciation.
It's Tim Wentink now. It's Tim Wentink.
Tim Wentink, my bad. It's my mistake. Yep. Again, a driver that I see is very active on Twitter and like the social community, and people will know him, and he will have lots of friends in One Hub Racing. So, good luck to him. Philip Smith, 16, is next. Danish driver, one of our few Danes. I think we've got a couple in the lower tiers list already. Returning driver from Pinnacle season 14, with no stats on the board at the moment. After him is Taze Leroy, the Irish driver. He has 1 win, 2 podiums, 1 pole, and 0 driver of days as it stands. Next up is SOR Hamilton 44. He's a British driver. Set at 27.4 on the night. So again, you can see how close all these times are. There's lots of 27.4s. He's actually, I believe he's come up from the Precision tier. Remember, he joined at the back end, so that's a big improvement from him. He has 2 podiums, 1 pole, as it stands. Afterwards, we have our very own tier coordinator and One Hub legend, White Fountain, also known as the Precision champion from last season. He has 17 wins, 26 podiums, 13 poles, 1 Drivers' World Championship, 2 Constructors' World Championships, and 6 Driver of the Days, which is very impressive indeed. So obviously, one of our own management team as well. Looking forward to see him drive to the best visibility once again. Okay, coming to the last few drivers now, we have T1000 Zach. A very fast driver known in the community, races in many other leagues. However, he's a new driver for One Hub, but hopefully he'll prove instantly while we put him in the Pinnacle tier. Last few drivers, we have Skeven, the Irish driver, who is a returning driver from the Pinnacle last season. He has 1 win, 5 podiums, 2 poles, and 4 driver of the days. Then we have the last of the new drivers, Harry B, R25. I hope I said that okay. He is also, like I said, he's a new driver, but from what we hear, he's a very competitive driver, and we look forward to seeing him race. Last but not least, by no means is this the slowest driver. This is in any particular order. We have LR Cohen, which is one of the few drivers representing LR. He's a Dutch driver returning from the Pinnacle last season with 0 stats on the board at the moment. So sorry if that took so long, but I think that is all of the drivers for the Pinnacle this season, season 15. And what do you make of that, Jess? I think it's a very, very competitive lineup.
I'm really excited for the Pinnacle tier this season. They're all so quick. They all deserve to be there. And even if there's people that say, "Oh, I don't deserve to be in Pinnacle," they do. They are one of the fastest drivers out of everybody that has took part in Quali Night, and they fully deserve their position. So well done to all 20 of those drivers. And this is the tier to be in, really. So they're going to get the primetime slot at 8:30, and should be very, very exciting. Now, we got quite a few championship contenders, I think. But after seeing what happened in Quali Night last week, and I was speaking about this, I think a few days after Quali Night, Samster, I think we got a few guys that could challenge Louis for the title, and that's going to be very, very exciting.
Yeah, I think most people from an entertainment sort of point will want to see someone take his crown off him, but he was so dominant last season, and Danny's certainly very capable of doing that. Only time will tell whether we just see a two-horse battle, whether more drivers will join. I know Paris, Rafa, Akito on his day, Midnight Lion, I've heard there's plenty of drivers that are fully capable of taking this championship.
Yeah. Indeed. So, announcing the final 20 drivers in racing in One Hub and racing in the top tier. So, we've got ILRT Rafa, S2V_Danny MG, Paris _Burrell, ILRT Louis, VRT Shapalili, Lakitu 886, Josh M97, Midnight _JL13, NMT _Lion, Toxic Tomato 55389, Ollie Favell, Tim Wentink, Philip Smith 16, Taze Leroy, SOR Hamilton 44, White Fountain, T1000 Zach, Skeven, Harry _B _RT5, and LR Cohen. So there we go. We've announced all the drivers racing in One Hub this season. If we feel like we missed you out, please let us know. We got quite a few drivers in the waiting list due to the fact that obviously we had the lockdown situation in some countries, so quite a few people are wanting to race in One Hub, which is great. No guarantee you'll get a seat straight away, because obviously every single driver has paid to be in the league this season, so hopefully, Sam, we will see more consistent turnouts, and hopefully for most races a full lobby as well, so that should be exciting.
Yeah, I will stress that obviously there was a bit of a reaction to our decision to introduce the entry fee this season, but we're confident that it will show in the quality of racing, and obviously all the money is put back in to these prizes, both available for the commentators and the drivers this season, so hopefully that will be an extra incentive to all of you.
That leads me on to my next point there, Samster. We're doing quite well tonight, this is great. So, this is what the drivers could win if they win their tier. So for each tier, the drivers champion will get a £20 PSN voucher as well as a trophy. Second place gets a £10 PSN voucher and a trophy. And the third place get a trophy and a One Hub cap. I just want that cap, to be honest. That's pretty cool because I haven't got any merch yet. Yeah, and that's for each tier. And the Constructors' Championship, both drivers from the winning constructor, they get themselves a Constructors' Championship trophy and a One Hub Racing t-shirt. Now, one thing you might have noticed, I didn't announce the commentators yet. That's the main reason why I haven't done it yet, is because otherwise it would give it away who's commentating. So, yeah, it should be interesting. And we've got the Commentators' Championship this season, which I'm going to be overseeing, and that should be very, very exciting. And if the driver that wins the Commentators' Championship will get a £15 gift voucher and a trophy. So we will be announcing who will be eligible to win that title, and how important our commentators are to our league, Sam. They're basically the face of One Hub Racing.
Yeah, you could argue they're more important than drivers. When you tune into a YouTube video, you want someone that's got that voice and that knowledge that to sort of draw you in and engage the audience. Make sure it's a serious race and you know what you're in for. You're in for some good hard racing, and I believe we have that in the form of all of our commentators this season.
Yeah, and I know some of you commentators are dying to find out if you got a full-time commentary seat. I'm not gonna get the suspense even longer. Here are your commentators for season 15. So commentating at the 6:30 PM tier, which is the Podium Tier, is Luke Everidge. He commentated for Podium Tier towards the end of last season. He has done a brilliant job for the tier, so he's been invited back to cover the bottom tier coverage. So well done to him. Joining alongside him was a reserve commentator from last season. He did very well last season covering for us. Most of the time he filled in last minute, and most of the time he was with me. So he's improved so much. So we thought that it would be best for him to get a full-time commentary seat for this season. He needs no introduction. His name's Liam. I can't even pronounce his gamer tag. It's just Liam. He was in Podium Tier last season, but he has taken a step back from racing and now going into the commentary box. It must feel weird, Sam, him racing last season, and now he's probably going to commentate most of these guys in the Podium Tier. What would you think of that?
Sorry, what was that? I didn't catch the beginning of that, sorry.
Liam now was in racing in Podium Tier last season, now he's commentating.
Yes, of course.
So,
Yes, we've got that the opposite of like Alex as well. So, obviously Liam's a very good commentator, and who has that race experience as well, and that's obviously really important to add to that, especially on this game. You can provide good insight on all the tracks and i.e. tracks and zones and strategies, and it'll be good knowledge to have.
Brilliant. Okay, so those will be your 6:30 commentators. Your position tier commentators remain unchanged from last season. We've got Austin, also known as the Badger Man, and we've got Owen Wyatt as well. And they are a dream duo in the commentary box as well. So glad to have them commentating again for a second season in a row. Great commentators to have around, and with how close precision is this season, I'm sure they're gonna enjoy commentating those drivers. And finally, as needs no introduction, we've got Alex Lilliart commentating for the top tier. He did a great job last season, so we invited him back to cover it alone for this season. And there's a few dates he cannot make. So we have got Kieran McGinley to cover those dates, for any dates that Alex cannot make, because obviously he can't make the first date, so Kieran will be filling in. Kieran is not up there because he's not available for the times we wanted him originally, so he's filling in as reserve. But he's gonna be covering the Paddock Pass with me, the new name for the talk show. He's gonna be the co-host for that. So yeah, what do you think of those commentators? Any commentators, Sam, that stand out for the Commentators Championship this season?
Yeah, obviously, I think in my time, I find it very difficult to find someone better than Alex or Kieran in terms of professionalism when it comes to commentating. They take it very seriously, and it definitely shows in their footage. Working with Alex last season, I thought he was absolutely incredible. He was brilliant, and obviously we had a good laugh before and after the races talking about it. Has his notes done, and so does Kieran. So honestly, I'm not sure I could pick between those two. No offense to the other commentators, but they just blow me away every time I watch them commentate.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say who I think, 'cause otherwise it's bribing and it's a bit unfair. So I'm just gonna stick with that. So just a quick rundown once again on who is your commentators for season 15. So we've got Luke, Everidge, and Liam commentating for the Podium Tier, Austin and Owen Wyatt commentating for the Position Tier, and finally Alex Lilliart commentating for the Pinnacle Tier, with Kieran as stand-in if Alex can't make any stream. And your reserve commentators for this season, we have got Jamie, Sean, Odems, and myself. So we have done most of the things for the stream, and but we've got one important thing to show you, and I don't know why I've got that ready. We are gonna demo quickly on how to apply for teams. In about 5 minutes time, once the stream is over, you'll be able to apply for as many teams as you like through the team contract system. And Sam, if you can agree, this is our unique selling point at One Hub Racing, surely?
Yeah, we try and even though it's obviously raced on equal cars, we try and make it realistic with the faster and more the more experienced drivers. Have more stats maybe within one hub, make it more available for them to get the other higher teams like Mercedes or Ferrari to sort of keep a realistic feel to the grid when we watch them line up. Obviously this isn't the case. You'll see drivers take preference to all of the teams, but it still makes it a fun aspect of a one hub racing.
Yeah, I'm excited. This is going to be my first experience of doing this, so I can't wait. But we are going to quickly go you through some of the information on how to apply for a team. So let me just get the screen up. There we go. So this is what you'll be presented with once the contract things open. So if you want to find out more information, click that video here. Jamie and Nick explain it all to a T. So make sure you click that after the stream. And so you got 3 tiers of teams you could apply for. So the top 3 teams, we've got Mercedes, Red Bull and Ferrari. The middle teams, which we've got Renault, McLaren and Alfa Romeo, and we've got the bottom teams, which is Haas, Toro Rosso, Racing Point and Williams. So we'll just quickly go through the criteria for each team. So we are going to look at that. So criteria to drive, you need to meet at least 3 of them, and you need to so 3 out of the 5 could be the following. You need 3 podiums, 1 win, race premium, complete 1 season with One Hub Racing, and 2 driver days. So I think you could agree, Sam, if anyone applies to be in the top team, they've got to be professional, and they've got to be wanting to get podiums and fight for the top 6 each week.
Yeah, that's right. Jamie, who's head of our teams, will obviously filter through, and he'll weigh up who's got the best stats and who's most fit for those seats. And it adds a bit of pressure, I must say, like driving for a Mercedes team or Ferrari team, knowing that there's so many others that wanted it. And obviously there's a big expectation that comes with that. You want to be right at the front, and it sort of adds to that element. So make sure you know what you're doing if you're going to apply for one of those top 3 teams.
Yeah, definitely. So good luck if you're doing that. And don't you dare apply yet. It is not open. Don't. I know a few people are eager to apply. Just don't. We will tell you. We'll tell you when you can apply. So don't do it yet. But anyway, so the season objectives, if you get into those teams, constructors, you will have to finish top 3. Drivers, both drivers finish in the top 6. So let's go on to the middle teams, which is Renault, McLaren, or Alfa Romeo. I think this is the tier that most people probably go for, the ones who have been in one hub for quite a bit, or even been for one hub for one season. Again, you have to meet at least 3 out of the 5 of these requirements. Complete 1 season with one hub racing, 1 driver of the day, race premium, finish top 10 in a season, driver championship standings, and follow us on Twitter. And constructors finish top 10, and both drivers finish in the top 12. So I think the drivers that will probably apply for those teams are ones that are looking to improve just a little bit and don't have huge expectation on their shoulders, Sam.
Yeah, I think you see realistically that would be the case. But on this game, some people take a preference to cars such as the Renault. Just they have a preference in the way it feels. Like, speak for myself personally, Renault is one of my favourite cars to drive. So you might see some of the fastest guys completely skip the top 3 and apply for some of them. But yeah, we'll have to see, and Jamie will let us know when the applications come through.
Yep, indeed. We'll go through a demo in a second, but finally we've got the bottom 3 teams. These are the teams where if you want to, most of the rookies will probably want to apply this. So obviously, if you are, because there's 22 rookies this season, I think the only tier of teams you can apply for is these bottom teams. Basically, there's only a few criteria: race premium and follow One Hub Racing on Twitter. But if a new driver applies for the team in the tier and someone with higher stats also applies, the person with the highest stats gets into that team. That's how it goes, I think. So the better stats you are, the more improved you'll be, and you only need to finish to get into. Basically, you need to finish to set high expectations. But yeah, it's good to be in a bottom team to start with in your first season. It would help you improve quite a lot, won't it, Sam?
Yeah, obviously times have changed now, and the Williams is right down there as one of the worst paced cars in the real F1 life, so therefore it's in the lowest tier here. But I think in One Hub history, it's actually the most successful team, so you'll see it's be very popular in terms of choices, especially on this game as well. I know a lot of people like choosing the Williams, just the way it looks and the way it feels. So yeah, once again, you might see some of the fast guys choose those cars, but they are mainly there for the newcomers to sort of settle in.
Yeah, definitely. So once you get to the screen and found the tier that you want, you put in your gamer tag in here. So if I was I'm going to pick on someone. I'm going to pick White Fountain. If I was White Fountain, then you would select the tier that you want to pick, and then you would choose what teams you want to go into. And you can tick all of these, and only apply if you meet the team criteria. Even if you exceed the criteria as well, you can apply for that as well. You don't have to meet it exactly. You can just apply for it no matter what. If you exceed it or not, exceed it basically. And as we've seen last season, we've seen people like Leon. He had the stats, but he decided that he wanted to go for a lower team. So anything is possible, Sam.
Yeah, exactly as I said. It will just be down to what drivers prefer. And it's not too important what team you get in. You might be disappointed, happy with the contract you give, but everyone, of course, will get a seat that's been placed tonight. And yeah, obviously, you just got to make best with what you get.
Yeah, exactly. So if you the applications open, I think for a week, and then you will get because it'll take a while for the head of teams to look through it, and some point in the next probably between Sunday and probably Wednesday, Thursday, you'll get an email from the head of teams saying if you've got a place in that team, or if you haven't got a place in that team. So and then obviously, for those of you that want to know who is in which 10 drivers from each tier have got into that particular team, myself and Jamie will be doing a stream next Friday, same time at 7:30, where we go through all 30 drivers that have got a secure seat in the team that they applied for. So Jamie will go through why he has picked them, and what the boss's expectations are as well. So I think that's it for the stream. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget, we are sponsored by Next Level Racing. If the Drivers' Champion will be winning some Next Level Racing rigs if they get a prize for that as well. I'll just have a quick mention of our race premium drivers. They contribute so much to the league. We've got quite a lot of race premium drivers to racing this season. So I thought I'll give it a quick mention, because obviously one of their perks is they get quite a few mentions in streams by our commentator team. So our race premium drivers are as follows: RLRT Rafa, Paris Burrell, VRT Shapalili, Lakitu 886, Oliver Flabel, SOR Hamilton 44, White Fountain, Breadster, Dane Star, Zippy, LER Lukey 707, Lukey 00000, EBR _ Sam T, ART Ivan, TTG King J, PMP Crimson, Scorpion, Chris 7, TTG Just Chris, Lahofnet, RLRT Dexter, TC13-92, Mr. Stim 96, Gatherman 96, Riley, Kingan 79, Aaron JS 1992, Alex Iliart, Indecisive Matt 13, and of course myself. So thank you guys for those of you that have donated race premium to our league. So are you do you think we should open the team contracts?
I think it's about time. Yep.
Yep. So I'm gonna wait for Nick to give me the nod from Nick whether we can open the team contracts or not. But I'm gonna end the stream now. The team contract is now open. So go onto the website, go to the team contract, and apply for as many teams as you want, and you'll find out next week if you've got it. So thank you, Sam, for joining me on the stream tonight, and I hope you'll enjoy watching this season. Are you looking forward to this season already, Sam?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't think anyone else has got much going on, so I'll definitely be watching.
Yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure you join us next week for the team announcements. And the first race of the season is, I believe, if I have a look, it's in Bahrain on the 10th of April. So make sure you join us then. So thanks for watching. Go start applying for your teams, and good night.